All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast Conversations That Count. I'm joined with my good friend here, Gene. And today we're here to talk about a few different projects he's working on. My personal favorite so far, The Other Side of Color.
Yes.
So before I overtalk and go too much into a book I love, can you tell me, Gene, about yourself? Introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. I was born upstate New York,
Okay.
Ithaca, New York, and was raised in Binghamton, New York. And when I was a little boy, we moved from Ithaca to Binghamton. And when we did, we lived in an alleyway. And therefore, my world was the alleyway. And that's really where the book itself, the story comes from, originates from that. And living in the alleyway was our world. And I was just used to that. But I realized that I wanted to get out of that alleyway.
Yeah.
And I always had that drive, even though I had a family of 10. I'm the oldest.
Family of 10 is.
That's right, family of 10.
Intense.
6 sisters, 3 brothers.
Full basketball team.
But I always had, I know. And so anyway, I always had that drive. I didn't want to just settle for less. Matter of fact, I believed that I'd be dead by the time I'm 30. And I remember Gershwin felt the same way. And I thought, that's what's going to happen to me. And nobody will even know I was here. I want to be able to make a mark for myself. And so with some influences on TV, singers back in the day, before your time, Dick Clark show, Anthony Imperials, that kind of thing, listening to them sing. And I said, hey, that's what I want to do. And then teachers were very influential too.
Mm-hmm.
They would tell me I had a good singing voice, put me in talent shows. And so I kind of thought that's probably the way to make my way.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I also had a dream too as a little boy. And that is, I heard about the Mona Lisa. There's only one in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And secondly, Italy. I grew up around a lot of Italians. I love the Italian way of life. Eugene, mangia. And then 3, lived down south. I said to myself, those folks are crazy. And so those 3 things I had aspired to achieve, and I was able to do that.
Awesome.
And so anyway, my idea was to get out of the alleyway and succeed and do other things. And so that's where the story actually originated from. Now, how the story, well, I lived in New York and then in Michigan and then Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee, which is between Nashville and Detroit. And so I was a businessman, and publishing company by the name of Main Street Publishing, they had a contest, and they wanted to solicit people to be authors, and I didn't see myself as an author. I wrote songs, that published, but not as an author. But there was always this story in my belly that I wanted to get out. And so I wrote a little short story, 3,000 words, and it came in at number 4 in a contest. And it's about the character Frankie. My name is Eugene Frank Belcher, but I always prefer to write as an alias because I really want the product to be a friend, not myself.
Sure.
And so we did that. I just, the name was, the pen name was Jael, JL. And I wrote the 3,000 words and about Frankie on one side of town, which is predominantly white. And on the other side of town, across the Susquehanna, is black and Italian. So he navigated pretty well within the white side of town. But he thought it would be even easier going on the other side of town since they're the same color.
Sure.
But he's very light-skinned because he comes from a mixed family, and so almost looks white. So
I think there's you even reference that in the very beginning.
That's right.
Of the book as well.
That's right.
Is there any way you could read just that small portion?
Yeah, sure.
That dichotomy, because it comes up early on in his life.
It does, right? Because his father's dark skinned, but his brother, who's a year younger,
is also dark
skinned. So,
as a fellow light
just a section here, it sets up how they're living in the 50 styles brick home. And the home is reminiscent of a Rockwell painting, equally quaint town of Ithaca, New York. And then it introduces the mother, Ruby Reynolds, and David, the dark baby boy, sleeps in a corner crib. And then what happens is Gene Reynolds comes home, a young, dark-complected, muscular African-American man arrives from work, and Ruby, the mother, is cooking in the kitchen, while Frankie and David play on the floor. The children stop playing and run to him, yelling, "Daddy!" Gene picks David up and starts throwing him up in the air and catching him. Frankie waits for his turn. It never comes. He stands there with tears welling up in his eyes. Ruby signals to Gene and nods toward Frankie. Gene ignores the hint and asks, "What's for dinner, girl? David and me is hungry. Ain't that right, son?" David's bouncing and giggling. Ruby takes her apron off, throws it on the kitchen floor, goes to Frankie, who's now crying. Ruby takes him to a rocking chair. "It's okay, my Frankie. It's okay," she says, trying to reassure him. "Mommy's here. Mommy will always be here." Gene puts David down and walks over to Ruby. Okay, give me the kid," he says. Ruby yells, "He's no kid. He's your son. Just like David, your son." Gene retorts, "So you keep telling me." He grabs his jacket and heads toward the door. So the genesis of this animus, this hostility, is right there in the first chapter.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, he has this estrangement between him and his oldest son. It's revealed later on in the story as to why. And before I get into that, what happened going back to the actual writing of the book is everyone wanted to know when Frankie went up to the river, which is the dividing line, what happens after he crosses. And everyone wanted to know, so that's what got me into writing a novel. So 40,000 words later, I'm writing 3 in the morning because I have a day job, just like you do. And finally finished the book. There was a time, Chronicles of a 20th Century Survivor, 2007. And so it did very well as a self-publisher. Tennessee State University had me, they ordered a bunch of books and had me do seminar and so forth.
I'd like to kind of pause for a second in the story. I want to understand more. What is it like being a self-publisher? What's like the process even start doing something like
that? Well, that was interesting because you really have total control. Mm-hmm. You know, you're just like you're a podcaster, not a conventional radio broadcast.
Sure.
So you're an entrepreneur, and it basically is your product, and you approve the final product, and you're the one promoting it. And so that's really what it is. And so that was my first taste of it.
What does promotion usually look like, especially?
Promotion is basically just like I would do sales for other people as I did, but it's me now.
Yeah,
and the best of
your product,
my product. See,
mm-hmm.
And so as a result, that was able to do quite well in doing that because I'd been in sales marketing for a very long time, and had connections and so forth. And so
you're reaching out to different people who would be
exactly just hit the foot to the ground.
Yeah,
that's right.
And that's how you ended up picking up the school who.
That's right.
Got
connections
in the book.
But also social media wasn't really prevalent at that time. YouTube was just coming into being, and other social media. But now that's all quite available. I'll update you what's been happening lately.
Sure.
But anyway, so the book's been written. But then I loved this story so much, I wanted to see it on screen. And so I said, I'm going to have to write a screenplay. And it took me years to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But finally, I perfected it, got it done. Problem is, you need an agent. People are concerned about intellectual property. And so it's much more complicated. So then I said, well, let me, like one famous director, novelize the screenplay into a book.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where The Other Side of Color came out. That way, I was crystallizing the characters. You're forced to do it in the screenplays. They don't want to know what the character's thinking. It's what you see, show and tell, as opposed to what they're thinking. And so the character is more crystallized, and now it was ready to go. Now what I did is I moved from the regional prejudice that Frankie experienced back in 2007. I wrote the book from one side of town to the other, to the actual ethnic prejudice within the same ethnicity, just like Korean, Japanese, Caucasoid with the Serbians, Croatia, Spanish world. They're like international, they're like United Nations, but there's prejudice within those ethnicities too.
More common than people think.
So this happens to be African American.
Mm-hmm.
And so now, with this particular promotion, my pen name being J.L.James, it's been doing very well on Amazon. Very fine reviews, five-star reviews. I think you.
Well, I did leave a good review.
That's right. Thank you very much. And you added to that. And now I just got a huge order from Detroit Public Schools, and as well as it's in all the Detroit libraries. So my goal is to basically in the academia, the high schools, the colleges, it'd be good for young people because it teaches young people that you can come out of your own personal alleyway. Mm-hmm. Everyone has those, and cross bridges. There's like 12,000 bridges here in Michigan. Everyone has a bridge to cross. And like Frankie, so you may not live in a little alleyway, but everyone has personal alleyways. You can reach for the sky and at least land on the treetops, you see. And so the book's been doing very well in that regard. Now, later on, Frankie, in chapter 18, when he's older, he has an opportunity to talk to his father. But his father, when he's not working, he drinks a lot. And so Frankie's kind of used to seeing him lying on the floor. But this time is a little bit different. When Frankie comes home, he returns home, chapter 18. Jane's lying on the floor and vomit. He gets a couple of towels from the laundry basket and meticulously cleans it up. He puts a small towel in his pocket. Then he lifts Jean up and manages with great difficulty to get him to the living room couch. Jean all the while is mumbling, totally unaware of his relocation. Frankie lays Jean down on the couch with Jean's head in his lap. He takes a small towel out of his pocket and gently wipes his mouth. Frankie quietly talks to him while he snores. I saw this robin feeding its babies in the nest, all of them with their little mouths open. Thing is, she only had one worm. I kept wondering, how does she figure out which one gets the worm? The more Frankie talks, the more Jane snores. A tear rolls down Frankie's cheek. All my life, Dad, David always came first. I don't care if it was a pair of shoes, a bike, or a piece of cake. He always got the worm. You can't say two words to me. You can't even bear to look at me. What did I do to you, Dad? What? Please tell me, because I can't figure it out. I try hard to, but I can't. I can't. Frankie continues to cry. Jean continues to snore.
So let me ask you, reading that excerpt, what is the feeling you want to leave the reader with when you're saying that? What do you want the reader to feel? What do you want them to hear?
Well, the feeling that it moves me, because when I wrote this book, like 3 in the morning, I'd be crying in some sections, because basically it's not autobiographical, semi-autobiographical, based on facts. So I call it faction. You take facts and you fictionalize it and make it turn out the way you want. And when they're reading that, they should be able to feel like in any relationship, there's estrangement in many families. Mm-hmm. And they can relate to Frankie, maybe not being able to connect with one parent or another. And so they can feel they can empathize with the character in that regard. Frankie is really a lot of us who are in this situation. But it turns out, as you mentioned quite well, there's mystery in here, there's comedy, should say humor, and even a love story. And all the questions are answered in the end in ways that people don't really expect. It's a wonderful story.
Well.
I really think I love great stories. I love great movies, like Driving Miss Daisy, Blind Side, something that appeals to the masses. Doesn't take a lot of money, but can be very profitable for a movie company to have a story like this is original. Won't find anything else out there like it, and it appeals to the masses. So I do believe one day it will be a film. And frankly, my wife and I say, if just the two of us saw it, we'd be happy because I want it on film.
No, I think the movie will be really good. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess the other thing, so we've heard a couple of excerpts from the book.
Yes.
They're very well written.
Thank you.
This leads me to when I finished the book, right? I mean, I know how I felt when I finished it, but as the author, what is the final feeling you want to leave your readers with? What I mean, this book is going into schools, it's going to be in libraries. A lot of children will be reading this, young adults, and it's going to leave them impacted. What, when you have brought all of this together, right? The laughs, the tears, the excitement, the fear in some cases, right?
Yes.
There are parts of the book where I was scared for the character.
Yes, yes.
So when all of that comes together and the book ends, everything's answered, what do you want the reader left feeling? What do you want them thinking? Where do you want them impacted?
You can win.
Okay.
You are not defined by your environment, by your circumstances. You are an individual. You don't have to be a follower. Be a leader. And it's not the past that matters, because you can learn from the past, but you can't change the past. And you can't dictate your own circumstances either. And even the present becomes a memory, just like this wonderful experience here. But one thing that everyone can do, the future is always coming at you.
Yeah.
You can rewrite the script of your future. And that's up to you. So if you have a dream like Frankie did, and as I did literally coming out of my alleyway, go for it. I remember when I went to Paris and my wife and I were sitting across having a steak sandwich and wine and French fries in Paris, French fries. We're looking at the Louvre Museum, which was just robbed.
Yeah.
And I thought, a boy from the other way, here I am in Paris. And I went up those marble steps and went past the Moabite stone, which is a very old biblical archaeological relic. And I'm going up the steps, those marble steps, finally to see Mona Lisa. It was packed. And there was a guard standing by the sign that said no flashes, but she couldn't control it.
Yeah.
And if I wasn't tall, I couldn't see Mona Lisa. When I got there, and I looked over and I saw her face, it's like she said, "Why did it take you so long to get here?" She had a way of looking right at you.
Yeah.
So Mona Lisa was fulfilled. And then Italy. I got to go to Italy in 2001. And then I lived down south for about 15 years. So those three dreams were fulfilled. So you have to identify what you want. That's your North Star. And then go get it, because you can. So that's what this shows. Frankie kept moving. And you can either move backwards or forwards. But Frankie kept moving despite the obstacles that came. And not everyone's going to be your friend. In this book, as you read, he has very few real friends.
Yeah.
Buzzy.
And even his real friends surprise him when he finds out who they are.
Exactly.
He doesn't even think of some people as them. And actually, before we even move further, I think that that's something that you do a good job of illustrating in the book that I found interesting with him is Frankie also doesn't have everything figured out. It's not like he has the clearest vision.
Doesn't.
He just knows that life has to be different, and he has an idea. It's a little blurry, and it almost takes me, so I had a moment similar to your Mona Lisa one recently, actually.
Please.
So I took a trip to Miami to see a good friend of mine.
Yes.
And actually on my vision board over there, you'll see on it, there is Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there's a gym there called the Boxer Gym. Oh. I didn't even know what this gym was.
Right.
I do love fitness though, and I love to travel like yourself, but the reason this is important is because as I'm visiting him, as we're in Miami, I've gotten to already meet pretty amazing people, build great connections. But he's like, hey, we need to go exercise. I know you're visiting everything, but we still got to stay in our routine. And we go to this gym and I walk in and I nearly fall on the floor because I'm like, wait a minute, is that Arnold Schwarzenegger on the wall? And it's like, and the gym just looked amazing. I didn't know the name of it. I didn't know where it was, but it's a beautiful gym. It's got a Lamborghini parked in the middle of the gym.
Wow.
Boxing ring. And it's like world renowned, I guess. Everyone knows about
That's your
it.
typical gym by no means.
Yeah. It's not your typical gym at all. It's like one of one.
Right.
And I walk in and I'm freaking out. And he's trying to figure out why. He's like, I come here all the time. I said, are you okay? And I'm like, no, you don't understand. That's Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he's like, I know, I've seen it before. And I'd also just finished reading his autobiography too. So it's like, to your point, it's even like that vision wasn't super clear.
Yeah.
But it's still, if you believe, you have the idea and you try and you push yourself and you go out there, you can end up in places you couldn't imagine.
Yes, you'll never know unless you go for it.
Which Frankie does an awesome job in the book of like, he doesn't always know what he's even going for. He's just going for something that everyone tells him he won't pull off.
Exactly. I didn't know I would be an author.
Yeah.
And that I would actually get paid for it.
Yeah.
And when I got paid and it was profitable back on my first book, I wrote a collaborator on the second book, a short story called Bud, about an eccentric grandfather. And it's ideas. I'm sitting down having dinner there in Tennessee, and the daughter of my friend, we always went there for beer and steak and play golf. and she's talking about her grandfather, Miranda. And it's a very eccentric character. I thought, that's a good story. So we collaborated, wrote a short story. I love the ideas. And I have several ideas for other books. And at this point, I'm going to have to make them short stories after my next project that we'll be doing. But this particular book is something that I'm just beginning to market. 2026 will be the year of marketing for this book. It started with Detroit Public Schools, Dr. Vitti, and others that have been a very great supporter. Governor Whitmer is also one of my readers. He even sent me a letter. Big Gretch, you said it first, though. But, she is so classy because she didn't mind the way I dressed her respectfully.
Yeah.
And so she wrote me a nice letter. So, and others there are some celebrities here in this area that have my book. And it's just a wonderful thing to see what's happening. You have a German of an idea, and then you see it being realized. So that's basically, now the next thing coming up, as I mentioned in the liner there, is a memoir regarding my first wife who died of cancer. We were married 46 years. And that was written, this memoir, really about the odyssey of that horrible experience, 2013. It was so raw, I really couldn't just put it out like that. And so what happened since then, I've ended up in Nicaragua, and I remarried my friend of 40 years, and we married almost 10 years come June. So now I have basically three wives. My first wife, and then Nicaragua, who they call affectionately when you live there, Nika, is my figurative wife, and then my third wife, Ada. So
talk
three
about being busy.
wives.
Talk about going for it.
Oh yeah. So now I can add the other two parts to the memoir, and I should have that coming out here in a couple months.
I was going to be out only in a few months too. That's really awesome.
Yeah, because
but that's not the only thing coming out too. There's something associated with it coming out as well.
Right? Oh yes, that's right. The music. Now I've been writing lyrics and songs for a very long time. I was in that world in the late 60s, but it was just so crazy that if I was going to hang out to my family, I better get out of that world. So I did, and glad that I did. And that's why I like the pseudonyms, writing behind the name, not into the core of the business, but just on the outside and writing songs. And so as a matter of fact, I would come up with hooks. They come to my mind. You know, the hook is really the crux of the song.
Mm-hmm.
It's the gum that sticks on the shoe. You can't get out of your mind. So I have collaborators in Tennessee and also in Texas. And I come up with a hook. And like I had one song, I remember things just weren't working out. It was just a day that I felt I should go back to bed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in my head, I did not wake up good today. I did not wake up good today.
Mm-hmm.
Send that hook to Bobby. He does the melody. We'll write the lyrics. We got the song. That's the demo. Another one was Postcard from Heaven. And that's a very beautiful, soulful song. I sent that to you.
Mm-hmm.
And then another, Nika Bay, regarding Nicaragua. But then when my wife was dying, my friend was talking to her in our room. We had it set up in our house as a hospice. He said, Gene, I was talking to Jenny. His name is Pete. I asked her how she's doing. And Jenny said, well, Pete, I know the reality, but God gives me what I need. I feel like I'm surrounded by soft pillows. Had Pete not had that conversation, I would have never known what she said at that moment. But it just moved me so deeply that right away I was able to write that song.
Mm-hmm.
And my collaborator, Danny Scott in Texas, put the music together. Again, that was 2013.
Mm-hmm.
But we always wanted to present it in a way that would be visual. And so with my friend Eric Lake as a director and others, cinematographer, dancers came together, and we finally got that realized. Soft Pillows video, which is on YouTube right now under JL James, as well as on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully Apple and Spotify pretty soon. So do you have a copy of that you can show?
Whenever you bring it up, yes, we do. So we're going to pause for just a moment.
Okay.
While we let the song play. So let's hit it.
It's our darkest hour. I can feel your power slipping away. 1,000 lifetimes I've loved you. Now I can't find the words to say. I'm reeling with memories of years gone by. How quickly they pass, and away we fly. I can't change what life will bring, or I would. I won't think suffering.
Okay.
All right. So
Excellent.
it was a beautiful song. Hope everyone loved it. I know you did. I know I did.
Very much so.
And when I first heard it and I saw the video, the dancer was extremely talented. She did an amazing job.
Camera loves her.
It did. And it's like, she really embodied the song, I thought, well.
Mm-hmm.
And as you listen to it, it does elicit a strong emotion now. I know that has a very personal feel to it.
Yes.
I want to ask you the same question I asked you, like with the book.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want the listener to feel? What story do you want them to hear when they listen to this?
When I
didn't know yours.
When I recorded that song in the studio there in Jackson, Tennessee, I had my wife's picture. And that's what you hear in the song. I don't have that voice today, 12 years later.
Yeah.
But then I did. And so, but boy, it's just so personal. What I want from this song is for someone out there like Dolly Parton, Kelly Clarkson, Kane Brown, Kenny Chesney, to hear that song and record it. Why? Because it's a beautiful song. It is universal because Dolly's lost someone in death. Kelly as well. So many of us have lost loved ones. And on LinkedIn, I actually make the point, this song is uploaded to social media, we're not trying to amass a lot of likes, trying to go viral. It's written to find the right singer for this song, and secondly, to comfort those who have lost loved ones. So I'm not trying to be the singer. I want to find a singer for the song.
So when someone does hear this song, you want them to feel comfort.
They will feel comfort from it, very much so. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it really is written for people who have lost loved ones. It'll be medicine to the soul.
Now, I want to transition just a little bit.
Sure.
Thank you for sharing some of yourself, some of your journey, as well as your work.
My pleasure. Yes.
As we kind of start getting to the end, wrapping up, something I wanted to ask you, during this journey, right, becoming a writer, during your work in music, all these creative works, what is a conversation you've had that's really counted, really impacted you, and that maybe is the first thing that came to mind when I asked you this question?
In my life, you mean?
In your life? That maybe helped you get on this journey?
The catalyst. I'll tell you, it's a good question that you ask. I go back to when I was in Binghamton and hustling, selling newspapers, delivering newspapers, shoe shining. Mm-hmm. I even used to, in the bowling alley back in the day, where you'd have to, the ball would come, strike the pins, you run down, set the pins up, get back up, car wash, whatever I had to do to help pay, as I call it, board at home to contribute. Mm-hmm. So I was shoveling snow for this man by the name of Mr. Gardner. He owned the auto dealership, and my father did work for him. My father was very talented in building and constructing. And he called me in, Mr. Gardner. That's why it's a good question to ask. I didn't think about this. He said, "Gene, come here." "Yes, Mr. Gardner. I got something for you." And he showed me a book, and on the book, I think it was Peter Kine was the author, The Go-Getter.
Huh.
"You know what a go-getter is, Gene?" I said, "No, Mr. Gardner." He said, "That's what you are. You're a go-getter." And that was like the movie Citizen Kane, Rosebud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was my Rosebud. I'm a go-getter. I've had inspirations like that. I remember Miss Curry in third grade, and it was kind of embarrassing, but you have such a nice voice, Eugene. Come up to the front of the class and sing Home on the Range. So you had these these persons who were your vehicles of inspiration. The sad thing about the book, The Go-Getter, I was so inspired by the title, I never really read the book.
You just heard the beginning.
Had I read the book, it talked about every time we make $1, put a little bit away. So imagine, as a kid, if I did that. But I don't regret that. It was very inspirational for me. But yeah, influences like that.
Now, that kind of leads me to
Sure.
my last question, I think, as we get to the end. Something you brought up earlier that I think I really enjoyed and kind of resonated with me is you talked about how when it's all said and done, we move on to somewhere much better than here. Will I be remembered? Will I be thought of like the one of one, like a Mona Lisa of my own creation?
Actually.
What do you think the story, when you think of your life, how it's all come together, what do you think the story, based on what you built, what you created, what you've written, people will tell of you? What do you think your story will be? Try to sum it up.
What I hope is I have a classic here. To Kill a Mockingbird. I've always admired Harper Lee, and that she created this great classic. Didn't want to be bothered anymore. Just leave me alone. Let the work speak for itself. I love that. David Copperfield.
Well, I don't even just mean your work.
Yes.
I mean the work of your life.
Oh, my life. Well, that's a whole nother story that we can talk about another time. Okay. But this would be the business part, but I'd be glad to do that. No, I have other priorities. This is my business. That's what this is. It's a vehicle, but it's not my life. And so
no, I know
what's more important to me, and I know you know that, what's more important to me is my life and my relationships and my aspirations, my vocation. This is like an avocation. But I'm happy that it is doing very well. But what I would want with this particular product is for it to be a classic, just like those books, Copperfield, To Kill a Mockingbird, and that's my goal with that. Matter of fact, there's a book called From Good to Great. I think Steve Collins wrote it about 15 years ago, and in it he had the thought about the hedgehog concept, and that is finding your skill, which I didn't know I could write stories, loving it, and I do, and making money at it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a takeaway for others out there as well. There's so many people dissatisfied with what they're doing.
Or unsatisfied with keep doing it.
I'm sorry?
Or there's people who are unsatisfied.
That's right, unsatisfied. That's right, and still keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have all three components. They may make money, but they're not satisfied. They're wondering what's going on. They got that hole inside of them that's not fulfilled. So if you got all three of those components, then you got a good thing going. And I think that's what I love about writing.
I love that. Repeat the three components one more time just for the audience. I feel like that's important. The three components that you think people need to have.
There would be the hedgehog concept is comprised of your skill.
Mm-hmm.
You make money at it, and you love it.
Beautiful. Gene, this has been amazing. I'm really grateful.
It's been a pleasure.
Man, it's always a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to get with you, my friend.
Now, I want to kind of sum up everything we talked about.
Sure.
Right? And you can tell me if I miss anything.
Okay.
When I'm through. So, first and foremost, The Other Side of Color. If you're not picking up a copy from your library, from your school, you're missing out. Amazon, of course.
Book Barnes and Noble.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Kindle.
And the full title is The Other Side of Color. Prejudice is not always an outside affair.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so make sure you're picking it up. Again, you wrote, though, just so in case you look up Gene, you're not going to find it. It's under J.L. James as well.
That's right.
So make sure that's what you're looking for his writer handle. And remember, if you take nothing else from this book, it's that no matter what your circumstances, no matter where you started, doesn't have to be where you end. You can win the same way we win, just by believing and going and being a go-getter.
Go for that North Star.
Go for the North Star.
Right.
On top of that, make sure you're checking out Soft Pillows, which isn't on Apple and Spotify yet, will be soon. It's already on YouTube. You can listen to it, check it out on social media as well. TikTok, LinkedIn, I think you mentioned too, right?
That's right. Yeah, YouTube.
Beautiful. Check it out. It's definitely worth a listen. It will make you emotional. And let us know how much you cried, because I know you will. Again, last but not least, remember, as a writer who has found success, who went for it while doing his day job, remember the hedgehog concept. It requires skill. You got to be passionate about it.
Right.
And you got to, remind me one more time, you got to enjoy it, right?
Yes, yeah. The skill, the
love,
and the money.
And the money. There you go.
And a couple other quotes here, too, when it comes to story writing. Redford, who just passed away, great director, writer, 3 essentials to any good script: story, characters, emotion. And then Andy Warhol said, make art and let others decide if it's good or bad. And while they're deciding, make some more.
I like that. I like that. Those are awesome. And last but not least, make sure you check us out. Listen to this on Apple, Spotify. It'll also be on YouTube. And go out there and win. Now, what I always like to do is sum up every single episode with a small challenge. Give the audience something to work towards, pursue. I'm going to let you create the challenge. Give them just something that you feel like anyone should be able to accomplish.
Sure. Goals are a dream with a deadline. So set the deadline. And the goals have to be realistic, or else you'll never achieve it. So just assess what your faculties are, your skills are. Maybe that deep love you have inside of you that I had with that story burning in my belly, and now it's eventuated into where it is now. In other words, you have a dream, go for it. And don't let it die. Keep that fire burning. A goal is a dream with a deadline.
And if I can build upon that too, because I love that, here's what I'm going to challenge the audience to do based on that. I'm going to challenge you over this next week. Pick one goal. It doesn't matter how small. Maybe the goal is just as simple as I want to make my bed every single morning. Set a deadline that you have to do it every day for 2 weeks, if that's your goal. Whatever the goal is, make sure you pick one small goal you know you can accomplish. Eat the elephant one bite at a time. Set a deadline for it. And let us know what that goal was. Leave it in the comments. You can leave comments, Apple, Spotify, again, YouTube, social media.
Right.
Let us both know how it went. Otherwise, thank you, Gene. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Let's go out there. Let's all be go-getters. Let's go out and win.
Excellent.
Thank you again, my friend.
Thank you. My pleasure.
A pleasure for me.